Jill Schlesinger for more on these tariffs. Good morning, Jill. So what does this mean for consumers?
You know, it's interesting because a tariff is basically a fee that's placed on an imported good.
Please
right?
explain that, 'cause
Okay.
I think a lot of people are confused.
Right, so it's not that it's like, oh, we're fining this country.
Right.
It's the good comes in, you and I own a company,
Right.
there's a new fee on it.
Okay.
Now, we have to make a decision as a company. Are we going to pass that extra fee on to the consumer, or are we going to eat it? If we eat it, we make less money, profitability goes down, stocks go down.
That doesn't seem like the case.
That's not a good idea for many companies. Now, if we pass it on, what happens? Consumers, all of us, pay that extra amount on that good. So the question really is, how big are these tariffs going to be? Because this is the first salvo. It could be a negotiation. We don't know for sure. And which goods are really impacted are going to be really, I think, subsequently figured out, because some of them are going to be auto parts, some of it's going to be oil from Canada, some of it's going to be food from Mexico. I think the biggest concern that I talked to among a lot of economists is this could also snarl up the supply chain in North America, because it's Mexico, Canada, and the U.S., and a lot of those supply chains were established during COVID to minimize risks.
So when you add it all up and you think about the total effect on the economy, what might it be? And could we see more manufacturing here in the U.S. to avoid the tariffs?
Well, the problem with the manufacturing, let me deal with the second part of that question, is that it takes a while to get that really booted up, right? And so manufacturing, it's not like, boom, it turns on in 5 minutes. The impact on the economy is usually a 6 to 9 month lag. And it's not going to be like, oh, we're going off a cliff and going into a recession, because the economy is growing right now. We're growing at about, let's call it 2.5% for this year. Maybe it's going to drop down to, say, 2 or 2.25% next year because of these tariffs, and also because a lot of economists believe the immigration policies that are being contemplated could also be a real drag on the economy.
How do you... Go ahead.
I was just going to say that we don't know the actual amount until we have the numbers.
Right.
So how do you expect the countries to respond to impending tariffs?
Well, the problem with each of these countries is that we, the United States, are in a power position. So they're going to retaliate. But if you're, say, China and your economy is already weak, you're not punching back as hard. I think Mexico and Canada are going to have to retaliate. And that's the fear, that this becomes a bigger, larger issue. We'll have to wait and see.
All right. We appreciate you coming in and breaking it all down. Jill Schlesinger, thank you.